this is Chrystal from Vitale Productions at Steampunk's World Fair, come to you live from New Jersey, 2012.
World Fair 2012 in Piscataway, New Jersey. This is the fans' POV. So what did you think of the fair? Let's start with that.
It was pretty good. Jeff always puts on a really good show / party. Up until 2 a.m. for some people.
If you have the grown-up badge.
We were sleeping and yeah, totally. Someone decided to do marching band in the middle of the freaking night.
Well, Jeff isn't the marching band guy. The marching band guy kept marching. There will be some footage of random parade because they did that about 5 times this weekend. Was there anything you saw in particular that stuck out?
As far as, well, let's start off with the setup. Last year, Steampunk, they only did it in one hotel, fire marshal issues, they did out a bunch of different things, it was very congested. This year, they did it in 2 different hotels right next door to each other. You had
the Embassy Suites, which was the main performing venue. I believe most of the musical events and or large scheduled things over there. This is the Radisson. This has all of the vendors. This has a lot of the panels. This has, you can see, some of the vendors managed to get beautiful property over here.
There's a prime real estate. It's where it's funny because the other hotel has the indoor beauty with the water fountains and it looks a lot prettier inside. But this one has the courtyard that totally makes up for it. So it's like,
yeah, everything seems to fall out of the courtyard here. There's a door here. There's doors at pretty much every corner. So everything will convene in the courtyard at some point, and actually directly behind the camera are all of the storefronts. So you can actually window shop here.
I don't know.
What panels have you seen so far?
Let's see. I didn't go to panels as much shows. Like, I was going in show happy.
I went panel crazy. So what have you seen?
This works. Okay, so a couple things that we saw. Performances wise, we saw the Dark Follies, their Sideshow. We saw Wick, of course. You know, you gotta check out Wick every time he's here. We provides a good show. Even though the last one he lost his voice yet again. He's got to stop screaming so much. But
well, wasn't Wick doing MC for every single show?
I don't know. So much every single show. It's just that because he puts so much energy and screaming into each one of the shows, by the time he does the last one, he has like no voice left.
Actually, one of the gentlemen I've basically been stalking this weekend.
You really were.
He had some of the only interesting panels. It's Professor Mark Donnelly, who there will be footage to click on below. And he literally mentioned earlier that the convention wanted him to be here because he's a historian and he knows a lot of stuff about a lot of stuff. And they went, "We would love you to be here, what would it take?" And he goes, "This is what I want. What do you need from me?" And they went, "Sure." And he goes, "Okay, this is what I can do. What would you like?" And they go, "Sure." So basically he was scheduled every other hour all weekend, and he's quite literally lost his voice.
Is that why there's no last panel?
That was why there was no last panel. He physically cannot speak anymore. Nice. He has been every other hour since Friday morning. Yeah, so there will be a lot of Professor Donnelly for you fans out there who would like to learn how to fight like Sherlock Holmes, for example. What else did we see?
Did you see Peter's at all?
No, I didn't. I didn't actually catch any shows.
No shows. Okay. So I got the shows. You got all the panels. All right.
What do you think of the event? Of being here?
The Well, as far as just like to touch base a little bit more on the shows, I did catch a little bit of the archery one. No, not the archery. The other one. The sword fighting. Sword fighting, yeah.
History of sword fighting from the Renaissance to the end of World War II.
So sword people beat each other with sticks. It's great.
There's a lot of beating with sticks this weekend. He did a lot of panels and workshops.
Universe was funny because it was a lot of fun because they it's the first time I ever finally got a chance to see them. It's at nighttime, so they did all fire stuff, which is really cool. Just a footage of that, where you saw just like you had maybe like 5 different people, I think, all with different their own unique style of fire play. Like who had a marionette on fire that they were like playing with that was flying around. It was really cool. No, it's really cool. It's like a bird. It's I like it. Actually, it was
Phoenix.
yeah, I feel like I had like a whole Phoenix feel to it.
Phoenix now.
And then it slowly went out of fire, and that's okay. She was done.
That's kind of sad.
But they had like the things that you spin around. It was just like they had different ones that were just really cool looking at the different types of fire. So and then there was also you had Truth, La Di Da. They were doing a lot more of circusy feel, like so it was just like you're here, you're like in a carnival more. You're not like at a con. It has a fair carnival feel. It's
that seems to be the difference between anime and steampunk. To my knowledge, is that everyone here is basically more mature about things. It might not be the best term, but everything is very sedate. Everything is very organized. Everything is very proper. Might not be the right word, but everything is what would you correctly. So everything was where it was supposed to be, with a few exceptions.
No little girls running around after different sort of
There was no tackling. There's this distinct lack of tackling.
no free hug signs.
There
No
were
dying
cosplayers
Jesus.
floating around though. There was the odd cosplayer. I've seen
There was no dying Jesus.
there was Zombie Jesus. Zombie did Jesus did make an appearance.
Well,
and-
actually, the EMTs had a rush him out. Apparently, he died and was what was it called?
Last year was the Ascension.
The Reckoning.
No,
was
the
last year.
Ascension.
Last year you had the whole like it's the Reckoning and the world's gonna end. It was supposed to be today.
And Jesus
it
came
didn't
back.
happen. Yeah, that was Gil. Who was jumped dressed as Jesus last year. Who was helped one of the events with Jeff. So it was kind of funny to see that.
It's good to know that this event is sanctioned by Jesus. This event is sanctioned by Jesus. You should all stop by at some point.
But as far as it brings us to cosplayers, really, or the people with
Lack of
costumes.
cosplayer, because it's, as far as I can tell, steampunk anything goes. I've seen people in every manner of.
I saw Darth Vader.
There's been a Darth Vader steampunk. There's been a dialect steampunk. There's been.
I saw steampunk Freddy Krueger the other
I
night.
saw the steampunk Freddy Krueger.
There was
Is that what that was?
Cobra Commander.
Yeah, there's different characters from.
There's
from
the odd
G.I. Joe.
cosplay, but it's still steampunky. There's steampunk Professor Snakes floating around.
I saw, yeah. So it's like the steampunk is more.
There doesn't seem to be much difference between that.
And then you have the
regular
large
clothing.
tribe of Doctor Who's.
Yeah, you have
Oh, and
lot of
there's a
Doctor Who.
flock of Doctor Who's floating around because apparently we're time traveling and we're unaware of this. So all you Doctor Who fans might want to check this out at some point.
But it's amazing how they actually had at one point they were trying to beg Jeff to help them with Doctor Who event, and Jeff's like, no. They're like, well, come on, you see all the people that want to do this, so who knows? Who knows what might happen in the future? But there's definitely a following for it.
They could name it Whoville.
I know how to do it. But
No, that's where they live. It would have to be Wukong.
Clearly you can tell I'm not a Doctor fan.
I didn't realize that was. Yeah,
I'm clearly not a Whovian. Doctors don't kill me. I deserve it.
So as far as that brings us like as far as did you have a favorite
don't know that any of them were exactly steampunk per se. I couldn't look at it in a lineup of other steampunk things and go, that's not steampunk. There was absolutely this one. I think she was sort of a vampire and sort of not because she had there's pictures. She had a fantastic steampunky looking outfit, fangs that they're actually selling here for some reason.
There is a fang smith.
And white contacts, and you don't notice the contacts at first until all of a sudden her eyes are white and you think that she's blind and she's looking right at you and you know that something is not correct.
That's true.
And it's actually it's really beautiful to look at, and it's not off-putting, but you go, that's not correct. That's really cool.
It's amazing how steampunk has it's its own world. It's not even community anymore. It's its own world. And to go, Doctor Steampunk, Nurse Steampunk, Childs. They were babies. There was babies that were no more than 5 months old.
Oh,
in
yeah.
steampunk outfits.
This
is like a whole family event.
The parents have every opportunity to dress their children up. There's a very accurate old-fashioned perambulator floating around somewhere with all sorts of lace and doilies hanging off of it. It looks like a small car. There's so much stuff hanging off of this carriage. It's beautiful. Whoever that family is, they did a fantastic job.
There's just you get really creative into it because it's not a specific character. You can do whatever you want with this genre. So it's
within reason, anything goes, and there's a lot of room for creativity with that.
It's you have the gods, steampunks. You have belly dancing steampunks. It's everything. It's now is there? Because you were here all 3 days, was there one event that kind of struck you the most out of the weekend?
Event. Everything was kind of everywhere, so I couldn't stop and go, I came here. There was actually discussion earlier about some of the con leaders are looking for more input from the fans, so if any of you are here, please contact Jeff about what exactly brings fans to a con like this, because it is so diverse and because there is so much stuff in it that can catch somebody's attention. Do you come here specifically to see a band? Do you come here to stalk people? Do you come here for the pretty costumes? Do you come here for photo ops? Do you come here to buy stuff that you can't really find anywhere else because you're a historian? They really want to know exactly what makes a steampunk and why, so that they can give you more of it.
It's fine because even we were looking at different things. Even though I know my parents would never come to anything like this, there was old swords and not swords as much, but guns and stuff that I know that I'm like, wow, my dad would actually really like this. Wow, they could appreciate the status. Wow, he has something like this already. So it's really. That's why I think it's the age group for this is so diverse too, from being a toddler up through your 90s.
I don't know if the toddler appreciates it as much as she should.
Probably not, but when I see a giant
was wearing
wrench
a dress.
hanging off a toddler, I think.
It could have been a he. It was wearing a dress though. But yeah, in general, anything from fashion to history to mechanics to engineering to fighting to sideshow types with the fire and Wicks basically torturing of himself.
Right.
There's pretty much something for everybody.
Yeah, they're really, and that's why I do enjoy going to cons like this, or conventions, or fairs, or whatever you want to call it. It's because you get a show out of it. You can sit down at a stage and just watch act after act, and be like, wow, I like that, wow, I like that. Kudos to them for being able to balance that on their part, and how the hell they do that. But it's
speaking of a friend of ours, she was really exhausted Friday night, and she was unaware of how much stuff was going to be here. It overwhelmed her. So she went off in a side hallway to just sit. And I find her about 2 hours later and she goes, I don't care what else happens. Sitting here watching people is amazing. This is a great show.
It's that alone,
some of the costumes, specifically, there is a safari Hello Kitty float walking around.
I did see a giant Hello Kitty. Hello Kitty, yes.
So there is literally something for everybody here.
Now let's talk about as far as pricing at this fair.
At the con itself.
Yeah, as far as how are you finding between the pricing of food and vendors?
I don't know if price for the tickets is going to go up anytime soon. This year it was about $50. About
For the whole weekend?
yeah, about $50 for the whole week, which is actually pretty good
That's
for a
very
month.
reasonable.
Depending on what you're looking for, clothing, handmade stuff, a lot of the jewelry, kind of more expensive than I would want to pay. But you know that all of it is handmade and and clothes, at least most of it is really accurate to the stuff that it's supposed to represent, which you can't really find anywhere else. And then there's a lot of, for lack of a better word, tchotchkes. People are selling perfume. People are selling old empty bottles because they look really cool.
Right.
For $2 or $3 each, which if you like old bottles or antique looking things, that's great too. So it varies depending on what you're looking for and who's selling it. I've seen empty bottles for $1 or $2 here and there, and then I saw bigger empty bottles with old labels that they found and somehow printed and like correctly pasted onto stuff. So you can buy old washing powder bottles for $10, $15, which if you're a historian or if you just really like old stuff, that's not that bad of a price for something you really can't find anywhere else.
And then you do have stuff where I do tend to find, because it is handmade, that steampunk materials are just more fun. Because there's time is money goes into it. So it's like you, from the artist perspective, you can respect that. It's like, wow, I really like that, but I can't afford it. But you want to at least compliment the vendor going, it's beautiful though. It's not because I wish I could, I can't. I have to get home to.
And also, a lot of the vendors are willing to haggle a little bit.
Especially on Sunday. Sunday, a lot of vendors
Within reason, if you take their card and mention that you like their things and you simply can't afford it, they're willing to at least talk with you about alternate prices or alternate. For example, if you're looking for a trinket, they might sell you a slightly different one for cheaper with different material or not as many shiny things on it, which will give you what you want. You get your thing, he gets his money, and you're both happy.
A lot of people are willing to definitely order. It brings me actually to another subject as far as pricing. Is something new that I have not seen yet. Is the whole funny money business.
Oh, that stuff.
Not at the embassy. At the Radisson here.
Their restaurant is apparently not affiliated with the con.
Right.
So instead of bothering the hotel, they've decided to print monopoly money that you can only use to buy food.
It's not monopoly money, they call it plenty money. It's a 1-to-1 ratio.
It's Radisson money.
Yeah, it's very much like, not for the regular bars and restaurant inside, but on the outside they had this different food vendors that came in. So they were doing where you exchange your money, funny money, and that's how you paid them. And it was...
I believe it goes into some kind of donation because they have basically a big bowl with stuff that you paid for your money.
It's through, we talked to the owners of the hotel. It was just a little bit more for because there's so many people out here.
Yeah.
And as far as new vendors, they want to make things sure they will do smoothly. So it's as per request of the person's actually running it, like you want to do the funny money out here. So it's like, it got a little bit like, okay, wait a minute, I want to get another hot dog. Hold on, let me go.
Get more money.
Get more money.
Exchange.
Yeah.
It's exchanging currency for the
Right.
past.
Right.
This is past future money.
Yes. So it's just like,
Currency exchange when you come back in time.
it's kind of a cute idea, but at the same time it's kind of like,
It got a little old really fast.
yeah. So maybe, next year that might not even be an issue, just because that wasn't even a Jeff Steampunk thing.
That was a hotel
thing.
request.
So we'll see what happens with that.
I wonder if there's actually also a sideshow carnival. You can throw bottles at people. You can.
I didn't see the bottles part. I saw darts.
You can throw darts at balloons. There was I think there was a dunk tank, or there was supposed to be, but I didn't see it.
I didn't see it either.
I might be wrong. But they have your opening in the cat face where you can take funny pictures of things. So
Yeah,
they have a little carnival in the back.
Yeah, there has that carnival vaudeville feel to it, which that's what this is all about. So like, sure, I'm on board. I like the fact that it kept it theme.
There's a very like 1910s boardwalk kind of, which is also very steampunky.
Yeah,
the old seashore.
So it was nice. It's let's see now as far as if you want to go for anything else, or you want to go into ratings, how we feel in general.
Oh, also, the hotels are absolutely willing to work with you if you get a room really late. We found a room Saturday night for what, $40? Something you said?
No, it was gonna be split. If that's
Okay.
split. We actually got the last room, and it was like 405.
Saturday night at a con in the con hotel. That's still a really good price if you're desperate.
So it was
The hotel is willing to dicker a little bit also.
Yeah, so it's just like if you split between 4 people, that's $26. It's like that's doable.
Yeah.
And okay, ratings.
Overall
Scale
convention.
1 to 10, and reasons why.
I would say 9 to 9.5 because everything went flawlessly. There was not a problem that I was aware of, with the exception of a few, people got overworked or got tired, which isn't exactly a problem per se, but that needs to be handled slightly differently, not necessarily better.
I felt like the staff at times seemed overwhelmed, and they're like, not even one staff,
The hotel staff seemed a little overexcited, but they handled everything beautifully. I don't think that there was a single problem that needed to be stopped and taken care of.
Yeah, it's just
Everything pretty
from
much
what it seemed anyway. So
To my knowledge, I haven't heard of anything. It wasn't like last year when the fire marshal had to almost shut down the building
right.
until everything got rearranged.
Okay, so as far as my ratings, overall ratings from scale 1 to 10, I have to say one be the worst, one be the greatest. I'm gonna give it a 9. Give it a solid 9. For once, I don't do the point thingy for this. And
9.7 in 10 nights.
Ernie hates when I do that. So I'll give it a 9.65. Like,
Now I gotta do math and stuff.
But as far as it was really good. Had some issues as far as hotel wise, but that's not Con's fault. But as far as I could have got the little green bugs flying everywhere. I don't know what the hell they are, but they're flying everywhere.
It's nature. The green stuff is outside.
I don't know. But what's nice is that they had beautiful weather the entire weekend too. So it's like no rainy.
It's been 75 and sunny since Thursday, so yeah, they really lucked out with this outdoor stuff because I could have gone terribly wrong.
Yeah. So it's as far as we were laughing and enjoying everything that we saw. So it's like there's nothing really that the pricing a little bit too high for some stuff, so I couldn't buy what I really wanted. But I understood it because it was handmade. So it's like again, not that that's a bad point. It's just maybe save me some bucks. But as far as will we come back again? Absolutely. Jeff, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you for letting us come here.
Yeah, and thank you for letting us film and everything. Thank you also to Ernie for letting us loose again on our own.
You're gonna regret this someday, man.
But as far as we want to thank Leigh, thank you for filming a load of panels.
Thank you for co-hosting.
Thank you. Wait. But we're not done. We're almost done.
Walk, shake hands and then just walk away.
We're not done thanking.
Exactly, just shake. It's because it's funny. Thank you for co-hosting.
Also, thank you to Odell for going.
Snapping a couple thousand pictures.
Yeah. So he was like photographer. We took a few shots, but
Pictures. Thank you for everyone who let us film you talking.
yes.
We'll be credited appropriately in the credits.
Yes, it was, thank you to, the staff for all the hard work that you put in, volunteers,
The hotel for putting up with us.
Yes, both hotels for putting
Both hotels for putting up with us.
And we hope to see you guys soon. I'm sure Ernie's going to have things coming up very soon. Fancy POV.
Snapshot slideshow. Here we go.
All right.